Well, everyone, welcome back. And today I got a real special treat for you. We're at the Petersen Auto Museum in downtown Los Angeles. And I'm going to walk 3 floors of amazing cars. Unfortunately, they don't allow filming in the vault, which is down below, so I'm just going to show you what I can. So thanks for coming along, and please subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying my content. And let's go check out the Petersen Auto Museum today. Check this out. This is Nelson Piquet's 96 McLaren GTR, powered by BMW. Pretty sweet looking car here. I'll take one. Check out the carbon brakes. Very nice. Love the exhaust there. Here's the Ford GT, the second generation from the original Le Mans car. These are big collector's items, all aluminum frame. Very nice. Another view here. Nice back end. Ford did a great job on this car. Oh, look at this thing. This is a one-of-a-kind, only one in existence. Look at the little air intakes there. Must go into the engine somehow. Probably rear cools the engine in the rear. It's a cool looking car. 240 top speed. Now, if you grew up in the 80s, every kid wanted one of these. And the LP 500S Countach. And they got the actual video commercial playing behind there. And when I saw one of these in the magazines when I was a kid, I was like, man, that's a cool looking car. And the reality of them is they're not the greatest mechanically reliable cars, and to back up you have to you have to open the door, sit on the door frame, and look backwards because there's zero visibility. I love that commercial they're showing. It looks like somewhere in LA, canyons there. But this is the first car that I saw that everybody wanted one of those when I came out. Everybody. I don't know about it in white though. I can't say I like it in white. I think red. Only 4.8 liter V12. Only 325 were made. Check this out. This is a real Cobra, AC Cobra, a 427 in it. Original. These things are so rare, original ones, that they make. There's a company in South Africa that makes knockoffs of these, and their knockoffs are very good. This is not a knockoff. And the glove box is signed by Carroll Shelby. Not sure who else signed it. I can't really tell. Ken
Might be Ken Miles because he was helping back then. Sweet car. This is pretty cool, this little history of carburetors and radios in cars. Sorry about the video that looks like you're being hypnotized. Sometimes the digital camera will do that. This one's from 1956, and that plays 45 records. Before the days of CDs and now, you know, digital. There's a Holly. And these are some early engines here. Now you see this one. This is one of the original rotaries. Mazda bought the technology from Wankel, which was a German design. And then Mazda's the only car company that really did anything with it. There's also a motorcycle out there that has a rotary motor. I want to say it's Suzuki. Pretty sure it is. Now this is one of the original Ford GTs. Great movie, Ford versus Ferrari. And this movie tells you the history of this car, of Ken Miles helping develop it. And it beat the Ferraris in Le Mans, 24-hour Le Mans. But look at the lines on this car and the sitting position you'd be in, driving it. It's just a really, really beautiful car considering the time it was designed, which was the late 60s. If you saw that in the late 60s and you said it was a Ford, no one would believe you. It's very exotic looking. Over here they have all these hood ornaments, kind of the history of hood ornaments. A little plane, an owl. They even have Batman and Mickey Mouse over the years of different hood ornaments. And different speedometers and oil pressure gauges. Pretty neat. Mercedes, 1963 Mercedes. You can tell the 80s ones. Some interior options. There's another Lamborghini. It's a classic. This is a V12 that's the motor goes sideways. Really cool car. Very valuable now. When I was a kid, I thought they were kind of ugly, but now they kind of grow on me. The lines of it. The way the Petersen Museum has put this car display is just amazing. The cars are lit so well, as you can see, and they're perfectly immaculate. They let you get pretty close to them, and they have a lot of information about them, which I'm not going to read you every board about it, but I'll read you some details. Look at the front end on this thing. Looks like eyelashes, huh? Beautiful looking car though. Wouldn't mind driving one of those someday. This one, let's see, top speed 174, 385 horsepower, only 475 ever made. It's a 68. Check this out. Look at this little thing. It's a Lancia. That is a cool looking car. Look at the taillights, huge taillights. Stratos. The Lancia Stratos. That's a cool looking car. I've never seen that car before. There's always some cars you never have seen, and this is one of them. 190 horsepower. 144 top speed. Yeah, it's pretty fast. In a little car like that, look how tiny it is. I remember this car in the 80s, a BMW M1. This had the same motor that the 635 M's had in it. The CSI M's. There's a 24 valve straight 6. At the time, these are pretty cool too when they came out in the 80s. It almost looks like a DeLorean a little bit, huh? M1. I remember seeing one of these drive by in Mill Valley, the town I grew up in. Very cool. Oh, look at this Porsche. A 959 Porsche. Now this is a badass car. This is the world's fastest car at the time. 475 horsepower at the time. Was a lot of power. A lot of power. And look at the size of this thing. I believe this car's top speed was close to 200. I love the lines and the look of it. I bet that would be a blast to drive. You gotta know what you're doing driving that though. 196 is the top speed of this guy, estimated. There's a motor. Classic Porsche. 6-cylinder. World's fastest, most technologically advanced car built at the time. Now look at this. This is a special one too. The roof Porsches. This one had 470 horsepower for 1989. Special wheels, got the whale tail on the back. This is another car that I really, really wanted when I was a kid. Not exactly its position, but the whale tail. They have a nickname of Widowmaker because they're so tail happy. Their engine's in the rear and so much power that they're hard to control, especially in corners. If you give it too much gas, it's going to swing around. Check out this Acura NSX, another all aluminum frame, 270 horsepower, not super powerful, but not by today's standards, but a really cool looking car. Surprised the new Acura NSXs that came out a few years ago. I think I've only seen one on the road. They did not do very well, even though it's supposed to be an amazing car. Nice, I like the back and the rear end of this. These can be modified and put twin turbos on them and then get up to the 500 horsepower range. Look at this thing, Jag. XJ220. Now, I worked out at the raceway at Sears Point, and I actually heard one of these. Someone was working on one, and they drove it by the shop I was working. Man, it sounded amazing. And it was in British green. That's the one thing that this display doesn't have. They should have a push button and have a speaker so you could hear the engines. Look at the inside of this thing. No wood in that interior. And the back end is just beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful car there. Lines on it. Cross bracing. I like that color too. It's very deep blue. It's not Jaguar green though. Now this is a Saleen S7. I've also seen one of these up close running at Sears Point. Look at the front end. This is a work of art in every aspect. Gills on the side. I love it. It looks like a part shark almost. The rear end is beautiful on this guy too. Man, another car I wouldn't mind having or driving. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Now here's a Maserati that was once owned by Michael Schumacher. For those of you who don't know, Michael Schumacher is a previous Formula One champion and had a ski accident and hit his head, and he was in a coma for a long time, and now no one really knows what his condition is. They just know. I think he's not the Michael Schumacher he once was, and his family is keeping him sheltered from the public. But this car's amazing. Look at the paint job on this guy, and beautiful, beautiful interior. Look at that hood scoop on the top, bring air into the engine. That's a gorgeous car too, I'll tell you. And you see the giant slits on in the front? It must feed air coolers, I would think. Man, I'd love to hear these things. Petersen Museum, get some sound for these cars. Look at the cars down the line. What they represent financially and historically. Now this is a Murcielago. These you see them, but not exactly the one with the flares on the side. This is in Fate of the Furious movie, this model. From the Fast and Furious franchise. Italians really know how to make exotic cars. It is beautiful. There's another one of those displays. Got Steve McQueen in there. Different car care products. Kind of history of. Now look at this. This is one of Mercedes' most iconic designs. It's a 55 Gullwing SL300. Very, very reliable, fast car, handles extremely well. And this particular car here is amazing in black. I know that they're worth over $1 million now. The market for them has just shot up. So this particular one has got to be worth multiple millions. Look at the red luggage in the back strapped in. Very nice. Beautiful car. And it's got gull wings, so when you see the doors open, you're like, whoa, see the gull wings there? 155 in that car you could go. Pretty fast. '84 Ferrari 512 BBI. Now I think the I means injected. Now I do know to maintain these cars you better have a deep wallet. It's about $12,000 for the yearly maintenance because you got to change the belts. And to do that, I think you got to drop the engine out of this car. So if you own one of these cars, you know what I'm talking about. But what a beautiful car. And over here, they got the Enzo. Now, I told you I worked at Sears Point Raceway. I was there the day they decided to unveil this car to the U.S. at Sears Point, and they had an official unveiling, and they had a black cover over it, and they ripped the cover off. I still got a ton of pictures of that day I took, but I didn't take any videos that I can find. If I find them, I'll put them on my channel. But this is a beautiful car. When I still remember, it kind of made your hair on your arm stand up when they ripped the cover off it. These are extremely valuable now, as you can imagine, being it's a Ferrari. Very nice. It's a dream car. If I won the lotto, I would definitely want to buy one of these Ferraris. I don't know about this one. 6-liter V12, 218 mile an hour. That's chump speed, huh? There's a Pantera. Now this is a collaboration with Ford and an Italian car design. So it's got a 351 Cleveland Ford in it, and they call it the Cleveland Ford because it is made in the Ford engine plant number 2, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. But these cars have a great sound to them because they got that V8 and the short exhaust pipes, the V8, the motors in the back, and another cool car. When I was a kid, seeing these drive around, I always thought, wow, that's a cool looking car. When you heard it had an American motor, you were a little disappointed. I remember being a kid, but I think they kind of grew on me now. I'm sure the Ford Cleveland 351 is a good, reliable motor for that car. Another car that has gone up in value. Over here, I got another one. Now that's interesting. It says number 1 on it. I wonder if this is the very first one. Possible. The Mighty Mongoose. So this is a little different than a Pantera. Looks a lot like a Pantera. The Mighty Mongoose. Look at the interior of that one. Big, huge rear wheels. And the double pane rear window. And the quad exhaust. Snake Patrol. Oh, I see, because it's called a Mongoose. I like that. License plate, that's pretty cool. Very cool. See what else we got over here. Wow. Check this out. This is a 1952 Ferrari 225 Barchetta. Now you Rush fans out there know what a Barchetta is from the Red Barchetta song on the Signals album. So this is a Barchetta. This is a car that would have been in red that Rush sang about. Front end's kind of strange looking. Looks like one of those manta rays a little bit. Still a beautiful car though. Look at that shot there. The Mongoose and the Pantera and the Barchetta. That makes for a calendar shot there. They got wheel weights on the wire wheels. They wrap lead around it. Look at the interior. Hand leather interior. Hand stitched. That mirror is really bizarre looking on the side, inside rear view mirror. Look at this. Wow, look at this. Jesus, man. This car is so beautiful. Look at the lines in this thing. The museum did such a great job putting these cars on display. Man, God, look at the front end of that. Delahaye, if I'm saying that right, I think I am. From the 30s, 1938. This would be the equivalent of having the most exotic Ferrari back then. Delahaye Type 145 Coupe. This would go 120 miles an hour back then. It has a 4.5 liter V12 in the 30s. God, man, that is a gorgeous car. Kind of has a little bit of a Bugatti look to it. Another car I've never seen before, but man, very, very gorgeous, beauty. I wish they had the bonnet open, you could see the engine, but can't. Here's a picture of a woman driving one back in the day. Check this out. I think you stand up on it, but there's nowhere to stand. It's like a motorized wheel. You see those people on the electric ones all day long now. What is this thing? Let's see what it says here. 1918? Wow, look at this. Look at the lines of this guy. Look at that. This might be my favorite car. This thing's beautiful. Look at the hood of this. The front end. Wow. And the way it comes up on the side. Real high. The Bosley GT Mark 1. Man, that's a beautiful car. interior is nice too, but man, just look at this thing. The lines, and look at the gas tank is on the top. This must have been a rally racer or a Le Mans car. I've never seen this car either. God, it's a really, really good looking car though. It's rounded. The side windows, air intake for the hood scoop. Look at the hood. The whole hood is a giant bonnet. There's no seams there. I bet it's heavy. Better have some good hinges on that hood. Look at that from the front. Wow, that's a beautiful car. So it's a 1953 Bosley GT Mark I. Had a Chrysler Hemi engine in it. It's a long distance race car. That's why it had the huge 55-gallon gas tank, 160 mile an hour top speed. Very nice. Here's another gadget display. Look, kids, before cell phones, that would be a car phone. Hair dryers, razors. Look at the car seats for kids back then. They didn't have much restraint. It's not going to help you in an accident, that's for sure. 1970 one there. Fiberglass. Wow, look at this. That's got to be a Duesenberg. Yep, Duesenberg. These are the kind of things that movie stars drove around back then. Art Deco doozy. 1933 SJ convertible coupe. Walter M. Murray Company made this, I guess, in conjunction. Look at the inside. Look at the little windshield wiper motors. You gotta think of the time this is made. Very impressive. Very, very cool car. Imagine back in the day if someone driving that would be equivalent to someone driving a really nice Rolls Royce these days. Look at the little steps they made just to get in the rumble seat. Very nice. Another Ferrari. .250 GT LWB Berlinetta. Now this is a rare car. You might see one of these occasionally at the Monterey historic races in Monterey and Laguna Seca, but other than that, you're not going to see them around. They're too valuable. They're just too rare and too valuable. Another beautiful Italian design. Look at the front end. Gotta have the trickle charger charging that battery so you can start it. Well, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this tour of some of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen on display at the Petersen Auto Museum. And I appreciate you coming along. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you on my next video.